Hey folks, welcome back to another video. Today it's about audio pitch shifting in real time inside of Bitwig Studio. And I already showed you something like this some time ago inside of the grid. But I got a new tip from Boro, which is one of my heavy Patreon supporters. Thanks for that. And also thanks for making me look smart on my own channel. So this tip is basically easier to set up inside of the grid. It has some better features and it's a bit smaller in size. Bigger is not always better, right? So let's go into the grid here, or actually in Bitwig Studio, and we need to set up something that makes sound or makes noise. So I'm using here one of my step sequencers, use a bit of random pitches here, smaller step size, and maybe some kind of synthesizer here, polymer. Let's use that. Maybe go here also to 85 BPM. Let's see how this sounds. At least we have a melody, right? So we can also use your pressure. And maybe I use a different wavetable just for the lulz. Something like that. I switch back here and also use the looping, and I use a bit of reverb with the convolution reverb here, and I use a delay too. Yes. Sounds much better. Maybe a peak limiter at the end here. It's a bit quiet. Okay, so now that this runs here perfectly nice inside of Bitwig, we want to create some audio pitch shifting delays on top of that, right? So I'm gonna create here an FX grid. So inside of the FX grid, we don't use the long delay, because longer is not always better. And we don't modulate here the delay unit scaler. We use the mod delay. And we're gonna use the delay modulation amount here and the delay modulation input, and we're gonna use an LFO. We switch the LFO here to this shape and we go to 0%, so we have this inverted thing here, and then we just connect these two. And the important part now is that you select the same timing here that you use here. So we select here quarter note and one, so one quarter note. So we have to select here one quarter, this is fourth, and one. So 1/4 is basically one quarter note. And now when you hit play, and we also have to disable here the precord for the gate input, because we generate a lot of notes here, and every time you generate a note, you re-trigger the LFO, which is what we don't want. So now when we hit play, it sounds like this. This is the original signal. Okay, so nothing changed. So we need to go here and say minus 50%. Or you can go 100%. So minus 50% is basically half time speed. It's exactly 1 octave lower. So you can mix this here with the original signal. So the important part is that you choose the same timing here and here. So one quarter note, one quarter note. You can also change the delay buffer size. You can say I want to go to 16 notes here, 1 16 note. So the delay buffer is exactly 1 16 note long. And then you have to select also your 1 16 note. It sounds a bit different because the delay buffer is now smaller. But you get the same octave shift or pitch shift as before. But it sounds a bit different. And now you can hear the small little crackle or popping. That's basically coming here from this LFO shape where we modulate the delay timing here. And when you use an oscilloscope, it looks like this. So this is the signal we use to basically modify the delay timing here. maybe let's go to 8 note, 1 8 note, 1 8 note. Okay. So we get this pop or crackling sound every time we switch here back to the 1 or to the 0. So we can try and make a volume shaper out of this. So we use a mirror. So the mirror basically changes this ramp signal into a triangle. This is how it looks like before. Or maybe make this even slower. Let's go back to a quarter note. I hope you can see this here. So this LFO signal is basically a ramp, and this mirror signal is now a triangle. And every time we hit here basically this important phase where it switches from 0 to 1 pretty fast, we use the mirror signal to shift the volume down to 0. And we can do this by just using a multiply and put this in there. So every time we switch back with the delay buffer here to 0 or to 1, we bring the volume down to 0. That's exactly what we do with this mirror here. And if you want to, you can even bring in here a blend. Or not a blend, a bend. And make this triangle, give the triangle a different rounding. Right now it's round, you have more volume in there. But still, every time we switch here back to 0 or to 1, we have 0 volume. So this is the trick about it. So that's the easiest setup to make an audio pitch shifter here. The only important part is basically that you select here the same timing here and LFO that you use on the mod delay. So now that we can pitch shift down and we can pitch shift up here to 100%, we can make interesting effects with this. So we can say the original voice is half time speed, and maybe it uses here 1/4 note, 1/4 note, and we select here the device, we say voice tagging, let's say 2 voices. And we use here stack control. So this is the first voice, we don't change anything. The second voice here gets basically, instead of pitch down, we pitch shift up. Let's say 1/5. Right, so the first voice is half time, the second voice is double time. And we want to change the volume, probably here a bit. Let's bring this down a bit. Maybe 8. Okay. So now we can say we want to have 3 voices. And the third voice does exactly the same. We go up here by 1/5. We go down 1/8. And we want to introduce panning. So I use a pan knob here. So second voice is hard panned left. Third voice is hard panned right. So now we use different settings here for the mod delay. Let's say the third voice is 1/4. Let's go up here 2. And let's go also up here 2. So now we have a different delay buffer here, different LFO setting for the third voice. And you can hear it sounds different on the left channel than on the right channel. I hope this makes sense. Okay. So that's an easy way of creating audio pitch shifting inside of Bitwig Studio with just a mod delay, LFO, and maybe here the mirror and the bend helper to shape the volume with the multiply. But when you use then the voice stacking with that, you can create up to 16 voices of audio pitch shifters here in there. Bring in a lot of different effects, maybe bandpass filters, maybe all pass filters, all kinds of different ideas, right? You can bring in for different voices to shape the audio signals and pitch it up or down. So for instance, really nice sounds if you use here, let's say an all pass in here, or maybe in front of that. And let's go 0 milliseconds here. And then you can say you want to have different delay timings for different voices here. Let's try this. That sounds really grainy, in my opinion, even though it's not a grain delay, but you split up the signal and use the all-pass device here with these small little delay tabs to create this, yeah, this kind of grain sound. And let's create more 4 voices. And say yeah, and then you blend in here the original signal. And that's your next ambient delay. So I don't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to share this tip with you, show you how you can create this kind of granular pitch shifting effects inside of Bitwig Studio more easier than before. And I also want to create some presets for this kind of idea that you can download on my Patreon. You can also download the step sequencer on my Patreon. Of course, you can download basically everything on my Patreon. So that's what I want to say. That's the main takeaway of this. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I see you in the next one. Bye.